Hey guys, it is that guy 10,000, and today I'll be talking about the 109 F1. Now, firstly, right away, this thing is an incredible energy fighter. Really, you don't want to be doing anything else except for climbing for the first 3 minutes. It's boring, yeah, I know, but that's how you get kills with this thing. If you want a 6-kill game, that's what you do. You climb. You do not sit at sea level and wait to die because you can't turn fight Spitfires. Do not do that. It will not work out for you. It has amazing rate of climb, so use that. Climb to 6k if you can, alright? It can get up to 4k quite easily, and most fighters won't be at around about 5 or 6k. So if you can get up to 5, you can basically boom and zoom every single thing below you quite easily. Except for MiGs. Those are basically the only problem you'll ever have. Those things they get the interceptor spawn, and they're quite fast at rate of climb. I mean, this thing is stuck, but it still gets 13 meters per second rate of climb. And keep in mind, it does also get the interceptor spawn, so it'll be going at speed. These things fly very well at high altitude, so it's going to be a bit of a pain in the ass to kill that, but it shouldn't be too much. Boom and zoom is the only thing you should ever go for in this thing. The guns are terrible. Well, actually, they're not that bad. They're not as bad as the 109 E3. This thing has terrible guns, but they are actually surprisingly good for its battle rating. It gets a 20 mil gun, very fast firing, so you'll lose the ammo very quickly. So tone it down, don't waste everything. The shells are very powerful, but they're very low velocity, so they're much like the Mark 108. So if you've ever flown the late 109s, or if you've ever flown a 262, it's a bit like that. They destroy everything on impact, but getting the impact is quite difficult. You have to have quite a bit of lead on them. The MGs, you don't need any lead on them, just point and click. Don't load anything but stealth for this thing. Really, stealth is the only thing for the MGs. For the cannon, just load air targets. Next, do not, when it comes to modifications, don't bother with the weapons. The stock default belt is good enough. The stock default machine gun belt is miserable. It is terrible. But it's not much of an improvement getting the stealth belt, honestly. Really, all you should be doing is focusing on flight performance. Get fuselage repair, radiator, compressor, airframe, wings repair, engine injection, and then cover. And then focus on getting the offensive 20, probably the offensive 7, and then the new 20s, if you can. Those things are really, it does help to reduce spread and improves accuracy overall. Don't turn fight in this thing. Climb. Aim well, shoot at things below 400 meters, and try not to get shot. And that's pretty much everything you need to know. Now let's put that into practice. Hey guys, alright, so we're back, or we're into a game now. And, yeah, so this is actually a down tier, like by a significant amount. Yeah, you can see P36s, and you can see E1s, I think. HE51s. And CR42s. Yeah, this is quite a significant down tier. But still, I mean, there's still a significant amount I can just tell you about how to fly this thing. Firstly, straight off, just climb. Climbing does help. Going flat out on the runway means you're more aerodynamic and you can accelerate better. Once you get to around about 300, maybe 350, just pull up to about 20 degrees and you'll be able to climb pretty quickly. So yeah, I'm just climbing right now. I actually did start the game a little bit late, so because I joined in this match in progress. So yeah. So gonna wait. This thing's optimal climbing speed is 259 kilometers per hour, so you don't want to go below that, otherwise it doesn't climb very effectively. There's actually one thing you can do against Hurricanes and early Spitfires that doesn't work on late, with late 109s, is that you can do negative G maneuvers. I think the automatic sort of key set to this is page up or page down to go up and down. Well, page up is to go down, push your nose down, but still. basically if you're in the middle of a dogfight and the guy's right on your tail, just press that and he'll either have to roll all the way around, which Spitfires and Hurricanes are not very good at. So he'll either have to do that, or allowing you to turn in the opposite direction, pretty much, and then you can just pull out of the dogfight. Or he's going to have to do that and he's going to lose a lot of horsepower. Now basically there's the P-36 right on my tail, and that thing is fast, and it's a very powerful plane, but the 109 doesn't rip all the way until 700, and it has much better energy retention, especially at high speeds. So I just pulled into the airfield. I actually didn't take any damage, I think, so that's pretty good. Now that guy's pulled away, so I'm just going to regain all the altitude that I just lost there. Because originally he started off, I think, like a few hundred meters above me in that engagement. He dived down onto me, and he lost most of his energy, and now we're at almost identical energy states. But my plane's actually going significantly faster, I think, than his. And now he's going to make a horizontal turn. So he's going to bleed a lot of energy there, and I've already gained up to 350, 360 kilometers per... Yep, there we go. He's made that horizontal turn. If he had made an Immelmann maneuver, which has gone vertically up, and then turned around, then he would have at least a significant amount of energy. Now this shot, actually just all luck. Do not rely on that. That is not going to happen very often. You're not going to get shots like that. That just went straight for his... For the pilot. Straight for the face. That never happens. Not with these guns. That was like all luck, but I mean, engines and cockpits are pretty close together, so you can just aim for one and it'll probably hit the other as well. To be honest, it probably hit something like, his engine, and it just fragmented all the way through. Actually, that was a high explosive shell, I think, that got him, because the tracer is in the fragmentation, so it probably was a high explosive that hit him in the face. Which would have been probably not actually that painful. Alright, so yeah, now we're diving down onto this guy. He's actually not a fighter, he's a dive bomber. I think that's a French one. No, that's a Helldiver, isn't it? Yeah, SB2U. I think so. Either way, not much on the side of, defensive firepower, so yeah, I just messed that up so badly. So I'm just going to dive back up. If your target does make a horizontal maneuver, that means you've basically, drained them of energy, because when you turn horizontally, your speed doesn't turn into altitude, and your altitude doesn't turn into speed, you're just burning speed. And so, do not engage in that, because when you're going at high speeds and you make a turn, you'll lose a lot more speed. And so, yeah, I bled a lot of speed there when I did that, but I managed to get this, so I guess that was kind of worth it. That, and there's nobody else really currently with my energy state in the area, so I can afford to bleed a little bit of energy, because, I mean, a Buffalo is a deadly plane, but only if it managed to get, if you head on that thing, it's probably going to kill you, because it's a great turn fighter. It can outturn prop planes, not prop planes, biplanes. Yeah, it can outturn prop planes, obviously. Yeah, it is very good at turn fighting, but it's not very good at high speed. It can't go very fast, at least not just with the engine. It needs to dive for that. In order to achieve something like over 300 or 400, it needs to dive. Otherwise, it just doesn't do anything. But it does turn very well. And that guy down there has, yeah, I think he just realized that after the guy just turned around immediately. That thing does turn fast. It's like an I-16. I couldn't get a shot up there, so I just pulled vertically up, and then all the speed just gets turned straight into altitude, and I get some distance between me and the guy, so if he did turn around, he wouldn't be able to pursue. Because I actually have the momentum and the energy. Now, when you're making maneuvers like this is a beautiful shot right there. But yeah, when you are making maneuvers like that, you can make a small amount of turning, and actually, hold on. Yeah, it did hit the bridge. The guy managed to hit the bridge and rip both of his wings off, and then hit the ground. But yeah, when you're making a maneuver like that, when you're diving down, even if you do turn a little bit, that's not going to bleed too much energy. It's when you go into a sustained turn fight, that's what bleeds your energy. Now, the 109 F1 doesn't actually have very good energy retention. If you were to dive from 6k down to like 2k, well, like 4k, and then pull back up, but this is without the engine on, when you pulled up, you would basically stall instantly. You would go up to 2.5, and then you'd stall. I mean, like, 6 to 4, back up to 4.5 without the engine. It's because of the amount of energy the engine generates. That's why you can get back up to 6k. For example, if I went from 2k and dived down onto a guy down at basically sea level, I would switch off, well, not switch off the engine, but throttle the engine down so I didn't rip off my wings, and I didn't compress so I could get some more hits on him. And I would do that. And then I'd whip when I went up, and then I would gain basically the same energy state as in before. Now after this, nothing really happens, so we're just going to skip on to the next replay. Alright guys, so we're back, and we're in another game. I think this is actually quite a significant down tier again, but there are quite a few lags and MIGs quite around in this match, so I mean, I guess it wasn't really that much of a down tier. Not as much as last time. There's quite a few E1s, so I guess, yeah, significantly like similar, I guess. And I'm pretty sure that last time I checked, the E1 is BR 2.3, and it doesn't actually, I don't think, personally, that it has anything better. Maybe it's at 1.7, maybe at 2. But, say you were in arcade, because I know for a fact the F1, I don't play arcade really at all anymore. But I'm pretty sure if the F1 kept roughly the same stats for arcade, it would still be able to outclimb, outturn, and outfirepower an E1. So I don't actually see what the point in getting the E1 is, or why it's even in the tech tree at that high of a, well, that, yeah, high of a battle rating. Either way, back to the F1. So ideal climbing speed is about 259, so we're just gonna sit down and climb here. I think that's around about 20 degrees. That feels like more like 30 degrees. God, that's steep. Either way, yeah, we're up just, yeah, I think I just went AFK here or whatever, so we're just gonna skip ahead. Alright, so we're back. We are at 2.5 kilometers now, so we've gained a significant amount of energy, and now we're above everything else on the map. We've gained a significant amount of altitude, so we're above pretty much everybody else, and now we can engage targets as we like, on our terms. So, yeah, there's quite a few fighters here in the distance. There's I-16s. I've had quite a few troubles or problems with the Yak 2, because it's quite a little bit like the ME410, as in, it's quite fast, decently fast. It's got two very powerful engines, so it can really pull its weight. It's got a lot of firepower, and it turns amazingly well for a 2-engine plane. So you can't outturn it. Outrunning it is kind of difficult, especially unless you're in a dive. And even then, I'm pretty sure that thing can pursue quite well, because it has incredible amounts of firepower and acceleration. So even if you did run away, it would take you a while. And I think, yeah, I managed to mess that up. But yeah, now this is the maneuver I was talking about. Well, not talking about, but this is the maneuver I can't remember the name of, but it is a very useful maneuver, especially in this situation. Now, basically what's happened here is that guy pursued me. I baited him, so he pointed his nose towards me, and I went straight up, and he didn't have the energy or the speed to continue, and so he stalled out, and when he did that, I turned around and I was on his tail, and he had no energy and no speed to make a maneuver, and that means he was very, very vulnerable. I have no idea what that maneuver is called. I think it's a hammerhead, but still not too sure. But yeah, that's what having the energy advantage can do. Now with this, I think I messed up quite a few shots here, but managed to get the guy eventually after a while. Yeah, the 20s aren't exactly very accurate, and you gotta lead them quite a bit. Again, I've been getting a lot of pilot shots here lately, but it doesn't happen that often. Just a friendly flyby, I guess. Because I did just save that guy's ass, so... yeah. But it's not supposed to happen very often, because the guns are miserably inaccurate. But I guess it just happens. I don't know if it's a 7 mils, because the 20s, you can get like 4 shots on a guy, and he will be guaranteed to be critted, unless it's a bomber. If it's a bomber, then he's basically guaranteed that nothing happened. Now, I could have dived on him from 3k, and I would have approached him very quickly, if I kept the engine on. But then I'd be running the risk of compression and ripping the wings. So, and that's something you don't want, so I just turned the engine off. I think it's around about now. There we go. And this guy, actually, I didn't hit him. He just flew straight into the ground. But that's because he had no energy left. And that's what energy fighting can do. The idea is, even if you don't get a hit, or a crit, or a kill in one pass, the idea is that you have the energy to continue doing that. And every maneuver the guy that you're shooting at makes, he bleeds a shitload of energy. And when he does that, eventually he goes down further and further to the ground. Eventually, in some extreme cases, you can just make them crash. The ideal plane, I think, probably for that, is the Arado 234C3. That thing is brutal with that. It does its job very well. It can energy fight things, because it gets the bomber spawn. So you can just drop the bombs, and then you're at 6k pretty much, so you can just... Early jets just die. They don't know how to fight it. This thing in some regards is actually quite similar, because you can stay at that altitude and you can just energy fight people to the ground, and they just crash. Like that guy. And if they don't, they make themselves very vulnerable, and they're just sitting ducks, and eventually you can just kill them. That guy decided to head on a PE3. Terrible idea. Never do that. This guy's probably going to be the most trouble getting a kill so far. I think I've gotten. It's really just it. When engaging a bomber, just don't engage like. Firstly, if it's a heavy fighter like that thing, don't do head-ons. If it's a bomber, just engage in a dead zone, in a gunner's dead zone. That guy you saw like half a second, 2 or 3 rounds, and I just hit the wing. It caught on fire, it ripped off, and the guy crashed. That's just it. It doesn't take much to get a kill, but the ammo finishes very, very quickly. So it's it's really good that that happens, because you can get a lot of shots out. Really good at 1 second burst mass. But I don't know what I'm doing there. Anyway, it's good you can get a lot of shots out in a very, very brief period of time, meaning you have a very powerful 1 second burst mass. You can get 1 or 2 shots out per second, and that means you can just tear apart aircraft. But that means you have to be very conservative about your ammo, and if you're not, then you can just run out of ammo and you just sort of sit there and you have to use the machine guns, and that's something you don't want to have to rely on, because the machine guns are not good at all whatsoever. This game actually ends only with 3 kills. This last guy, I didn't actually get the kill on this guy, I don't think I got the kill on him. I think I managed to get a couple of hits, but I didn't get the kill. And if I did, I didn't get the kill. A tree did. Because this guy just spent the next couple of seconds shooting at me, and there he drops the bombs, tries to do that bomber thing, but he doesn't actually focus on trying to kill me. Instead, well, he focuses so much that he actually flies into that tree and rips his wing off. He just didn't focus on flight, so yeah, I didn't get that kill, but I got some score. So 1947, which is good. So 3 kills. So yeah, and I get hit there. Flak, look at that distance. Flak is just overpowered, But either way, yeah, this is a very capable aircraft. Very fast, as you can see. It is capable of getting up to 500 quite easily in level flight, and the best bit is it can maintain that quite well. And yeah, that's it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.